stand up here to that, and I'm coming up, I come off that block, I'm tracking, the nearest hip is here. So I'm gonna track that hip, so if you go this way, I'm gonna go it. If you cut this way, I'm staying on that near hip. All right, I'm staying on the near hip, okay, or if I'm working from the inside out, which happens sometimes, I'm working the near hip, he's going to the sideline. If you were to cut back, now I'm just gonna be a normal tackle. My head's gonna be in front, it's just a normal tackle, we've all been taught. But you've got to track that near hip and go through that near hip. Eyes through that hip. Then we go to the tackle. You guys know my tackling progression as far as Seahawk tackling, it's eyes through thighs. I call it cheek to cheek. I'm gonna track the near hip. I'm gonna add a little bit of a breakdown in there now. I don't want to break them down too much because sometimes we just get stunned and our feet are dead. I want to pause my feet. I'm gonna now take my head through that near hip, and I'll put it on the backside. I'm gonna go cheek to cheek. My cheek on his butt cheek. Then I'm gonna drive for 5. Drive for 5. And if I can't drive for 5, then I'm gonna pull down, or wrap, and I'm gonna roll. But we don't ever want to leave our feet on tackle. We want to keep your eyes open on tackle. I don't know one thing is interesting. I heard somebody talk about on tackle, keep your eyes open. How many times kids don't keep their eyes? They don't realize, they laugh at you. Well, okay, but you just close your eyes on that tackle and watch. Keep your eyes through, again, cheek to cheek. I'm going to drive for 5. I don't want to leave my feet and dive, and I'm going to wrap it around. But that's, basically, as a DB, I want to attack from the outside. Unless you got a safety coming from the inside out, knee out. They have to do that now. He's going to squeeze that inside out. But that's what we teach. Tracking the hip is huge. Got to track it. Got to track it.
Speaking of, just to go off of that, there's 2 drills that we do with linebackers and coach, specifically for tracking the hip. The first one, it's the first drill I always do with Friday nights, the first warm-up drill that we do when we break it up. I call it shuffle, alley, shuffle. So basically you have a linebacker and you have a guy that basically is 2 yards in front of him as a running back. And the linebacker, you go for about 20 yards. The whole idea is that the linebacker keeps position where he doesn't over pursue and he's staying locked on that near hip. So the running back that will go, he's just going to change the pace that he's running at to kind of simulate, hey, he's stopping, he's stutter stepping, like cut back. So he'll start off with a jog. As he's jogging, the linebacker's kind of mirroring with the shuffle, with keeping vision on that near hip. If he starts to pick up like a sprint, then he's got to get more of like a shuffle run, like an angled run. And the pace will change, but the idea, the goal is to keep that near hip relationship. And then as the kids get better, you say, okay, running back, it's on you. Go ahead and cut back whenever you want to. So if the running back sticks his foot in the ground and cuts back, if the kid is in the right relationship, as that guy cuts back, as Coach said earlier, he turns right into a frontal profile tackle. So we like that one.
And that's what we do in our tackling stations. I'll do tracking all the time. And I basically put one guy, the defender over there, and an offensive guy here, and an offensive guy got to run, then gear down. Run, gear down. So we're making, I tell him, you got to cut that angle, you got to go quick. But once he breaks, when he starts breaking down, you got to break down. Okay, now he goes. I'm going to speed up again, like Coach said. Speed up, break down. Speed up, break down. And then we tap off on the near hip.
And then off of that, the other more realistic drill we have is you set up cones like an offensive line, whatever. I don't think we need that many. Same sort of thing though, but you get your linebacker on one side, 5 yards off the ball. You have a running back. The linebacker would be basically probably a little bit off again, so we're maintaining that. And you have the running back go, okay, and the linebacker, as the running back's going, you're taking air out of it by you're squeezing to the tackle, so that you're basically taking more space away from that running back, giving him a chance to really cut back. So this drill, you basically tell the running back, go ahead and pick a hole, doesn't matter, but just go. And so the linebacker has to basically keep that relationship, and then once the running back commits, then you go beat him in the hole, right? Make a frontal angle tackle, however you want to call it.
Linebacker, you're going to be more of a profile tackle, more of a tackle you're used to.
Yeah. so that would be more of a track specific for linebacker, right? Is that,
Teach both tackles?
No, we teach strictly hot tackle. We don't talk, and I'll try not to talk about the head at all. They don't hot tackle, the head should be on behind cheek to cheek. I went old time, I can't remember who the guy was that he played, it was a college guy, he says, I don't talk about the head anymore, because I don't want to get lost about it. So hot tackling has been the thing to go to now, and everybody's going to it because of that. He goes, and I don't ever mention where your head should be. He goes, no, the guy, you're tracking the hip, and the guy cuts back, it turns into a profile tackle, and profile tackle is just your basic tackle. You know, and there's no way around it, your head's gonna be in front. When he cuts back, yeah, it's the side of the road. And again, and the hot tackling, again, you're gonna see, the hot tackling is more, we will teach hot tackling to these guys, but he's gonna teach that drill, and they're gonna tackle like that. The outside guys, the hot tackling, the safeties, it's good for them. My son who played for me, and we didn't have hot tackling at the time, and he said, he goes, Dad, he goes, man, and he was a little undersized, he was a little squatty, built, kind of like me. And he said, man, I wish we had hot tackling like that. He was trying to tackle somebody's running back, said he goes, I had to try to tackle. He was in wrestling where in SWC, he had some big kid, he goes, so he goes, man, that was tough. He goes, I wish I could have, I wish I would have known about that, putting the head behind and rolling, wrapping and rolling. He goes, that would have been so much easier for me as a defensive back to tackle like that. So I think it's easier there. The inside guys, you're gonna get more of the normal tackles, but we don't teach that.
So I don't think I'll be doing the tackling, I think Adam's doing that. But, so if a kid puts his head on the wrong side, you don't say anything.
Nope. I'll say, do cheek to cheek. You should try to get cheek to cheek. If say he trapped him, and his head does go to the wrong side, I'll tell him, no, head needs to be, I will say head, I'll say that, you should have been cheek to cheek, you should have been in front.
But maybe
I don't emphasize it, I just say, no, your head should have been on the other side. I always say that your head should always been to if I'm gonna say something about the head, it's telling them that the head should have been to the butt side, the cheek side. Again, if the guy cuts back on him and he ends up, that happens, and I don't say anything about it. Great tackle, you just go on, that's a great tackle. Sure.
I think majority of the time too, the biggest thing with the head now is head up. If your head goes down, whether injury or you're gonna miss the tackle flat out. So I think that's the biggest thing is, and again, speaking of linebacker, you're in the trenches, D-line, you're in the trenches. At some point, your head's gonna be in it, whether it's a running back. Running backs are gonna be taught to run right through you.
There's no way it's gonna be.
It's gonna happen. So the biggest thing is, keep your head up.
Well,
That hasn't changed.
Coach still used to speak.
So coach isn't gonna emphasize hot tackling as much as I'm gonna emphasize it with my defensive backs hot tackling. He's he's gonna tackle, that is a good tackle, so.
There's two different types of tackles. There's tackles when you're in the trench, when you're in the box versus when you're on the perimeter. Hot tackling all day on the perimeter. When you're in the trenches, at the end of the day, whatever you gotta do to get the guy down, you get him down. But there's certain things you can't avoid, whether that's on your end or their end. The fundamental of just tackling, that is still,
Doesn't the NFL do promos instead of heads up tackle?
Yeah, you got it. I'll tell our kids, pull your neck.
Yeah.
Pull your, I wanna be a tough guy. What's a tough guy? That's what you should be doing. When you tackle, it should be pulling your neck. That tough guy look, I'm gonna pull my neck and I'm gonna take. Because even if you're hot tackle, you can pull your neck out. If you cuts back, you catch his hip, you don't catch his backside. You have your head down, you're in trouble. So I'll still mention that, too. You gotta keep the head up and pull the neck tight, with the head back. Yeah, but we're still, tackling, as far as driving for five and stuff too, now, I'm gonna emphasize that, you still gotta get that leg under, you gotta have that hit leg, and you still need to do this. People so much now, hot tackling, these guys wanna leave their feet and make a tackle. Well, no, I gotta drive for five, I'm driving through the tackle, I'm not diving for the tackle and then twisting them. I gotta run through them, and then when I'm running through them, if I can't take them down, that's when I go down and I turn. But again, you still gotta have that hit leg under, and you gotta roll your hips up. And again, pull your neck. This is your power right here. Here's your power. I can't go run in and make a tackle like this. I gotta be here, which is things that we were always taught, right? I get my hit leg under, and I'm gonna drive through, and I'm gonna roll those hips right into the tackle.
You hold this for a second. So where I usually start with anybody, I'll actually put the kids on their knees. So they'll sit on their knees. This is probably gonna hurt down here, but and I'll have them sit back on their heels first. And what this does is it gets them working, shooting, rolling their hips. And I always say, so if you guys are looking for catchphrases, I always say guns in the holsters, okay, shoot the hips, shoot the guns, okay, sky the eyes, and then the whole drive for 5 thing. So basically from here, right, we're shooting up, okay, shooting the hips, rolling the hips forward, shooting our guns, boom, skying our eyes. And then obviously you progress to on the feet, you just, that's not a good bag. On the feet, okay, I would start just one step away, same thing. Okay, one step, shoot the hips, shoot the guns, sky the eyes, and drive the 5. And you progress all the way up to, right, you can do it from an angle, you're coming down. Same, it's the same principle, but you start from just get the whole, hips, arms, hands, okay, and then the wrap part is huge too. Just getting them used to just wrap
and grab cloth.
and then from there, also when Coach was mentioning, sometimes you're going to be in a situation where you're struggling, you're struggling with the guy. That's where the roll comes in. So I like this one down here. Same principle. Okay, everything. Hips, shoot, sky the eyes, and then you're going to take the bag and then you roll with it, and it gets them used to that roll tackle when that running back's kind of fighting with them. So those are pretty simple, easy drills.
Right, and that's a good way to break up your tackling stations. And we'll do tackling stations throughout the whole year. It'll be week 10, and we could be going back to tackling, so we could do tackling stations. And that would be one station would be a tracking station. Another station would be on the knees, just rolling the hips. Then another station would be on the knees with the roll. Then there's a station where you're standing up, and it's here, where you're standing up and you're taking them down and rolling them. And you can do that with another player too. You don't have to do that. You're not doing it full go. It's close contact, so you're okay. But that's our tackling stations. We do that all the time. I used to do the turnover as part of our tackling stations too. It's some type of a turnover drill, but now I've incorporated that in money time. I don't want to waste time with that. But the tackling stations we'll do from when we start day 1 till the last week of season. We're getting ready for Lucas. I think we did tackling stations. That's something you gotta do. And that's basically how Coach broke it down. It's how we break down our stations.
And so you have linebacker specific stuff.
Read steps.
So first thing is with every position, like these guys have already said, stance is everything. I found as a player, a wider stance was most successful, most beneficial for me. I'm not talking like anything crazy. I'm talking like slightly outside of shoulder width. For me, I've seen it done so many different ways. Whatever you do with your hands, whatever you're gonna do, whether they're here, I personally like them just rested here. As long as they're ready to fire and to go. Some people like them, I don't know, whatever. That's not gonna make much of a difference. But I like a slightly wider stance. Specifically because here's why. Leading into what we were talking about earlier about a read step. Mine's like a 2-footed buzz step where it's almost like a quick little step right at the snap of the ball, just to give you a chance to see what's going on. And at the youth level, I would have to think if it's run pass, it would probably be pretty easy to tell. I don't know, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but basic things like starting to teach them working on their vision as they're reading. Is the lineman standing straight up, or is he coming out at you? Those are the basic reads where it's like, okay, if he's standing straight up, the complicated thing about linebacker, you're a DB on a pass, or actually DB, and you gotta be in and playing the run at the same time. So that's where it's like you got the best of both worlds, and that's also the hard part. So vision. With the key step, the read step, the wider stance, you get because again, here's for me if you don't have a good base, if you don't have some sort of read step that's getting your eyes focused on what you're seeing, it's very easy to take a false step. Next thing you know, if you're just guessing because the running back takes a step that way, next thing you know, this guy's coming this way. Now you're screwed. You're 3 steps behind because you took one false step. Where if you get that read step, that gives you time to see, okay, this guy's coming. Now you're not wasting steps and you're able to play that whatever it may be. Now I know you're not going to see much because you have 3 down linemen, but these are things that are just going to help as they, progress and get older.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Coach, but I mean, you gotta understand too, it's a reset, and that little jump.
It's not a hop step.
No.
Sometimes you get a kid and they'll hop forward.
Yeah.
They'll hop forward or
Yeah.
hop backwards. It's just a quick.
It's like a 2-footed buzzer feet. So like it's, like here's your standard, but it's like, just get you
Just
kind
see
of ready to
something.
go. Yeah. So
I mean, Adam Mickelman, who's
Yeah.
was one of the best linebackers I've coached in a
Yeah,
long time.
he's like-
Until we got coached back here this year, was hopping. He was hopping.
yeah.
But what a difference it made in his game, just that step right there.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I was going to ask the group, do we trust the other offensive linemen that they are actually pass blocking?
Probably not, yeah. They're not going to be good enough.
I
Yeah.
was just
They don't know what they're doing either.
That's
Yeah.
probably a hard thing.
Yeah.
That's not going to help us. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll teach my defensive back. If you're reading a safety, maybe reading a last man on last scrimmage, it's like that. We're reading helmet. Helmet high,
Yeah.
it's pass. Helmet low, it's run. But you're not going to see that.
Maybe 5th and 6th grade is different, but 3rd and 4th definitely.
Probably not.
It's just a smorgasbord.
The offensive line can just fire.
Hopefully.
Well, hey, with RPOs, that's all the offense. Now that's all the offensive guys do. And they block 10 yards downfield. They block 10 yards downfield and they're not supposed to. The referees don't ever call it. But that's the offensive guys. They cheat all the time. Anyway, pet peeve, Mike. Sorry.
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I was just.
You're not.
You'd like to teach them something to look at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, for sure. I mean, if they could recognize at that age, if they could just.
What do you do when the guy is like this?
Well, if they're-
We still got a lineman that's
If you give them somebody to read, or this line, you're reading this line.
Right.
I think that's good.
Even
Just so they know, so they're keen on something.
Yeah.
I think they might get the wrong.
What are they reading? What are they reading?
That's everything here, in my personal opinion, at this age.
Remember what I said about?
Yeah.
It's more about the actual, let's start developing good habits, it's less about the scheme, it's, hey, let's get these kids muscle memory, let's get them developing good habits so that when, you actually are playing 11-man football and these concepts are really gonna start to, I think that's gotta be the real goal, like, if we win games, great, but are we developing kids to be better football players? That's more important,
Right, even if they do make a wrong read,
Yeah.
they're reading
Yeah.
someone, so
Yeah.
that,
So I'm
we
saying
get them wrong.
they wouldn't make the wrong read on their end. They're like the
They think the
offensive
kid
line.
is screwed
Right.
up.
Oh, yeah. Oh, sure, going the wrong way, the ball's coming right.
Yeah.
False keys.
They're not pass blocking, they should be pass blocking.
But I think if we, gave them something to just look, something to read, just so that.
Yeah.
The reverse is what kills us.
It wouldn't be a
They
read.
break a lot of reverses. Oh, this is the same one. Chris custody too, that's always a good one with them.
Sorry, the other reason I like the wider stance, again, so you're not crossing over, running yourself in the wrong direction. As a linebacker, and this is something that's simple concept, you really want to emphasize and stress, keep your chest and your shoulders square to the line of scrimmage. So we shouldn't be turning and running because of the fact that if there is a reverse, now you're losing steps again. You got to turn your ass around and get going. So if they're square, if the ball's going this way, then whether it's a fast shuffle angle down or whether it's kind of like that running shuffle, that they can put that foot in their ground and change direction. So if they should never be turning their shoulders completely, because then they're, again, same, right? Young kids that they might trip and fall or whatever. All right, so staying low and staying square to the line of scrimmage, so that you can change direction as, you know, those kids are, whatever they're gonna do, reverses. That's been a big thing. So what I'll do with that drill, or for that specifically, is I'll take, you know, bags, the long rectangle ones, and I'll put them at an angle going each way. And I'll have like a running back, I'll be behind, my linebacker will be right in the center, and I'll give the running back a direction to go. And like, well, let's say hit, I want to key step, and then based on which way the back goes, or sometimes I'll use, to make it more realistic, I'll use a lineman, and I'll say, hey, you know, whatever, I'll give him a direction. So at the snap, he'll take a step in that direction. That'll give the linebacker the read of, okay, run this way, boom, 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 down, you know, down the bags. And at the end, you can finish with a tackle to work, you know, get tackling in there. Another simple thing that you guys can start working on or working for them is just the concept of getting skinny. So you come down, okay, and you're trying to get over the top of the block. I like to teach the dip and rip, or get skinny and reach and grab grass, okay, and just get, you know, to kind of get over the top of a block. That's one way. The other way, of course, is, you know, at some point they're going to have to get used to using these guys. So we'll do a lot of just learning how to defeat blocks. So you guys, obviously, the big thing was we need to teach everybody how to block. Great, but now we also got to teach them how to get off blocks, because you know, what could help us immensely on offense could actually hurt us big time on defense if we don't know how to beat those blocks. So blocking drills are great because you're working both offense and defense at the same time, or you could be. They just don't know that, right? So I like to talk with my linebackers. Another thing that we'll do very regularly is we'll pair up. We'll get in that athletic linebacker position, and I like to say button press. You kind of like a little bit of a headbutt is really what it is. So you're right next to somebody, right in front of them, and all it is you press them off, get them off of you. I'll have them run their feet, and again, we'll have a running back behind, and I'll give them a direction. Whichever way the running back goes, I'll have them looking for it, and then they have to get rid of the block, and then come off and go, you know, go make a tackle, or go wrap up the ball carrier. So little things like that just gets them in the habit, I think, of get this guy off me, get rid of him, and then go pursue, find the ball. And that, again, even at your level, like that's not going anywhere. If someone's gonna come and try and block you, you gotta get over them and you gotta go find the ball carrier.
Get back that advantage.
Yep.
That's, you know, for every position, that's, so offensive line, you're not gonna get rid of them, you're gonna continue. But it's who can get those hands in first, who can get that, you know, I'm gonna control a block, I'm gonna be able to get off the block if I get my hands inside on him first. If he gets his hands inside of me, I'm never gonna get off that block. We see that when we do that escape from Manhattan drill. That's just so good for us because we get beat, defense gets beat most of the time because we let those offensive guys get in those. And again, that's why I gotta get my hands, shoot my hands, and get them in now because I got control now. And again, that's where that advantage drill comes in. Any position, you're gonna run into that. Well, I gotta get my hands in, elbows tight, punch out, extend, get off, and get rid of it. You know, the only time offensively, offensive lineman doesn't want to get rid of him, he's gonna stay on. But that's why that's so important, and we really kind of emphasize it. You got away from it again because of COVID. We really had a hard time letting guys screw the screw, but we'll get back to that.
Yeah. Honestly, other than that, I mean, those are some. I'd say those are the staples. You know, getting off the block, staying square to the line of scrimmage, and your footwork that starts with the key step. Because again, if you're taking whether it's false steps, okay, or you're crossing over, linebacker, a lot of it's about position, get, like I said, my coach always used to say, just by being in, you'll run yourself into more plays than not just by being, you know, in the right position. It's kind of one of those things too where, oh man, everybody, you want to play that, but you do, but it's almost like just taking that key step just slows you down just a bit, just to kind of start to maybe see and figure out, okay, what are they doing? And it's amazing how like split seconds just changes everything. How many? You only have like what, one or two linebackers with seven man?
Two.
Two?
Yeah.
Okay. Now,
We play
I would have to.
two, and then three.
Okay, so I'd have to imagine, as far as pass coverage for two linebackers, I'm sure all you're doing is probably, well, if it's man-to-man, is it?
One of them's sometimes manned up on a slot or
Man up.
with a
okay.
back, or they have the back out the backfield.
Okay,
Quarterback runs a lot.
So they'll talk, like one will say, I got quarterback, and then the other
We have them
the
pointed
other one
together.
calls running back.
okay, so they're never, your linebackers are never dropping in a.
Probably not. Yeah, they're just playing football. We're just letting them
Yeah,
run around.
not.
They don't pass enough to make it to work on it, you know.
Now, do they,
What was